What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Week 12 Must Add and Must Drop video. Today, Must Add players are a variety of stream options that are relatively lower owned to help round out your fantasy roster for this week. But before we get into this video, let's hop over to our player of the day. In this segment, I will tell you a random stat that's associated with the player, and in the comment section below, it is your job to figure out who that player is. The random stat today is, this player may be disliked by a lot of other players across the league, leading him to draw the most penalties this season with 27. Who is this player? Leave your answers in the comment section below. The first must-add player for this week is Craig Smith of the Boston Bruins. After almost 2 years of that Boston top line featuring Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak, head coach Bruce Cassidy has decided to make a few adjustments. Craig Smith has recently been promoted to the top line in place of Pastrnak, and he's now skating alongside two elite players in Marchand and Bergeron. The 31-year-old signed in Boston this offseason. He is well known for his high shot volume and goal-scoring upside. Smith has 5 20-goal seasons under his belt and was on pace for his 6th last year prior to the league coming to a halt. Smith is a solid defensive player, and he's put up great plus-minus numbers in his career. Last season with the Predators in 69 games, Smith put up 18 goals, 31 points, including a plus 18 rating and 184 shots. This is solid production given he played just 13 minutes and 25 seconds per night last year on the third line. Now that Smith has moved to the top line in Boston, his minutes are up to just around 15 per night. In 35 games with the Bruins so far, Smith has 6 goals, 17 points, a plus 7 rating, and he's added 85 shots. For this week, Smith is strictly a streamer option. It's hard to tell how sustainable his role will be on this top line, but for the time being, he's worth an add. On ESPN, his ownership's at just 6%, and on Yahoo, he's at just 11% ownership. Sticking with the Boston Bruins, the next must-add player is goaltender Dan Vladar. Again, similar to Smith, this is strictly a streaming option. Both Boston netminers Tuukka Rask and Yaroslav Halak are out with injury right now, and Boston is now relying on their third-string goalie in Vladar to take over the starting role. Something I've mentioned a few times, but the success of a goalie is correlated with the offense and defense numbers of the team in front of them. Over the last 2 seasons, Boston ranks 3rd in goals for percentage, 5th in shots for percentage, and 8th in Corsi for percentage. These are all indicators that Boston is in fact one of the top teams in hockey, giving Vladar a solid opportunity to win games in every game he starts. Digging into Vladar's numbers in his career, in 2019, he had 25 starts in the AHL, posting a 14-7-1 record with a 179 goals against average and a 936 save percentage. Similar to the Bruins, Providence was also very strong, ending the season 38-18. Vladar had a ton of success in the minors, and this has translated into the NHL level. In 4 starts, and yeah, I know it's a small sample size, Vladar has posted a 2-1-1 record, a 225 goals against average, and a 922 save percentage. Boston does have a heavy schedule coming up, so expect the volume to be there as long as Rask and Halak remain out. On ESPN, Vladar's ownership is at just 5.8%, and on Yahoo, we see him at just 14%. The final must-add player for this week is another low-owned player in K'Andre Miller of the New York Rangers. K'Andre rounds out our list this week as the only defenseman, but he can help tremendously with your categories. The 21-year-old is in his rookie season with the Rangers and has been very productive. In 35 games, he's recorded 8 points, a plus 12 rating, 35 shots, 48 blocks, and 62 hits. All 3 of his peripheral categories are over 1 per game, with hits nearing 2 per game. Another positive sign for Miller is that his minutes are steady, and he's sustaining around the 21-minute mark per game, with some games reaching over 23 minutes. The Rangers are high on K'Andre, and you should be too. If you're in a deep league and are looking for some solid value, he's your guy. New York is going on a run right now, and Miller is going to be a beneficiary of a really hot team. Expect his plus-minus numbers to sustain for the rest of the season, as well as his block and hit numbers. Miller is owned by just 4.7% of teams on ESPN and just 3% of teams on Yahoo. Only 27% of the viewers are actually subscribed to the channel, so if you're liking the content so far, take a second right now and click that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously and keeps us motivated to continue producing high-quality fantasy content. Now, let's continue into the video and get to our sell-high candidates. The first drop candidate for this week is Sean Monahan of the Calgary Flames. Monahan was a really intriguing player this season, skating on the top line and the top power play unit, and the added bonus of playing the Canadian division. But man, has his season been disappointing, and it's continuing from what we saw last year. In 2018, Monahan had a career year, scoring 34 goals and 82 points, including 23 points on the power play. This caught the eye of many fantasy owners. But 2019 was a disappointment for those who drafted him. In 70 games, he scored 22 goals, 48 points, and was a minus 16. Lots of signs were pointing to a bounce-back season for this year, but it's been a complete disaster. In 38 games this season, Monahan has recorded just 7 goals, 23 points, a minus 6 rating, and only 8 power play points. Monahan's regression is not just individual, but it's the whole team. Calgary is 16-21 this season, and it's not going to be enough for them to make a playoff push, and they're showing really no signs of positive regression moving forward. At this point, you can look to move on from Monahan, whether it's via trade or a drop, and look for other players that are available on your waivers. On ESPN, his ownership's down to 76%, and on Yahoo, he's down to just 59%. The other drop candidate is one of the more overhyped goalies this season, Anton Khudobin. Khudobin had an ADP of 70 this season and was being drafted in the mid to late 6th round. The 34-year-old was coming off of a solid playoff performance with the Stars, following an injury to Ben Bishop. I do agree that he was a draftable goaltender, as Dallas had no clear starting goaltender with news that Bishop was out for the majority of the season. Khudobin has struggled quite a bit this year, holding a 7-9-4 record, a .908 save percentage, and a .248 goals against average. The goals against average are actually pretty solid, and this is a case of Dallas being a well above average defensive team. The other variable that's concerning me about Khudobin is that Dallas called up a rookie, Jake Ottinger, and he's impressed considerably this season. He's making a case to overtake Khudobin after posting a 6-5-6 record, a .917 save percentage, and a .229 goals against average. The Stars are rolling with the better goalie for the time being, and from what we're seeing right now, Ottinger is getting majority of the team starts. If you're thin on goaltenders, you can hold on to Khudobin, but if there are better options like Jack Campbell, Peter Mrazek, and Dan Vladar, you can look to drop him. On ESPN, his ownership's at just 73%, and on Yahoo, he's down to 71%. That'll do it for a Week 12 must-add and must-drop video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you haven't already, click the link in our description and join our Discord. The Fantasy Puck community is growing, and we want all of you to be part of it. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.